work we got done this week. We literally practiced Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. In some capacity, Tuesday was a lot like today. It was strictly our Devo guys and select twos that hadn't gotten a lot of reps that we felt could benefit from getting even just 12 to 15 periods, about an hour and 15 minutes of work. We got a heavy work day on Wednesday for our twos and our Devo, and then yesterday actually we had the entire practice devoted to UT Chattanooga. They've done 2 games. Obviously they play on Saturday at 4 o'clock, so we'll get that game added into their breakdown. But took the first 2 games to kind of put together a game plan on what we know at this point, and practiced pretty good yesterday. Had a chance for a lot of our guys to get healthy up to that point. A lot of our main guys have been playing a lot of our reps, didn't do anything football-wise, did conditioning until Wednesday, and then Wednesday was modified Thursday. So like where we're at, tomorrow is like Monday of game week because we're playing a Thursday game. So tomorrow the kids have the day off, and then we'll jump in. Sunday will be like Tuesday preparation and so forth. So excited for that opportunity. A lot of good work during our bye week.
Do you use this opportunity at all for self-scout, or is that too early?
Self-scout for the coaches, not the players.
Yeah.
Self-scout. I think the unique part to this is obviously our offense. It's the first time defense has been through the system twice. So, there's. I also think that the competitive game against Indiana was critical for us to have that on paper.
I know you talked about this, but how do you like your schedule here with this bye to Thursday? You get more time going into the full Big Ten schedule.
Yeah, so when the schedule came out, we had, made some the original schedule, we were supposed to start opening up at Wisconsin, right? And then that got eliminated with the conference when they came in and redid everything. So that's when I approached, or before that, when we were opening up Wisconsin, that's when I suggested the week 0 game. And I knew that was going to give us 2 bye weeks. I really didn't know how it was going to play out, but I couldn't be more excited. I said this all along, to have 3 on the front end, 4 off bye week, 4-game schedule, and then a bye week into 5. And then this week was really crucial because we're jumping into a Thursday game, right? To have that ability to have a normal game week here is much better than trying to go from a Saturday to a Thursday.
Has the Devo portion, like that seems to be a big deal for you guys. Mm-hmm. Has that always been a philosophy? Have you evolved that over time?
No, it's always been. I kind of always say the only way to get good at football is playing football. And if we can, the NCAA a lot of times limits the amount of Devo work you can do in season because 20 hours is really not a lot of time to get game prep in. So in normal game week seasons, it's really hard to get a lot of Devo work. But bye week, we I just kind of told those guys out there today, I would bet you a large portion of Division I teams, under 31 teams, do this on a Friday. They probably just send everybody out the door, give them a brunch, make them lift weights, something. But I actually had, I think I got 5 of my coaches out there. I sent the other 5 out on the road. I'd much rather, from a recruiting standpoint, have all 10 out there. But to have Barry here, Ryan here, Andy Boo was here. Who else is here? There was CP was here. And then I'll go out tonight. But I just felt it was important to get a good amount of work with these guys. I brought up the point when I was really at New England, there's really not a limit on time on practice, so we would always end practice with about 15 to 20 Devo plays. And I remember when Jimmy Garoppolo was leaving, they told me the number of players that he had in Devo over a 4-year window taken with him on the plane to San Fran that really was big. I saw a guy like J.C. Jackson last night, right, who I remember doing Devo with him as a rookie, undrafted free agent, to see where he's at now. So I know these things work.
I mean, those guys are your scout team essentially during the week. Yeah. I mean, the fact that they get a chance when you're in your stuff this week, how big is that?
Yeah, so first off, we don't call them scouts, we call them look, right? And I think that's a very big thing. It's just the English language, but scout has a demeaning attitude to it, in my opinion. Like, if you have a lot of kids, even during recruiting, am I going to come in and be a scout team player? I'm like, no, you're not, right? You're going to be, I don't say this, but you're going to be a look team. So they're looking to simulate our opponent as good as we possibly can, right? So we may have 2 guards, right? But my right guard plays completely different than my left guard, even though they're on the same team. Different body types, different skill sets. So not only are they looking and emulating like UT Chattanooga, they're going to look and emulate the left guard versus the right guard. And that's a big deal with us. It teaches them football. It teaches them football IQ. The value in this is unbelievable.
But just for them to be able to maybe run your offense this week.
They I think for sure offense. They get a chance to run calls that Coach Lundy's coming in from the sideline, to hear the young linebackers out there calling plays. We also had almost really our true offensive line out there. That was going through a lot of. Barlev was out there, Whiteneck was out there. Just really good reps for those guys as well.
Did I see Jared Beatty practicing?
Yeah, Jared started practicing. He practiced before Wyoming, like maybe on Wednesday, Thursday. I think he finally got cleared Tuesday afternoon after practice. Practiced Wednesday, Thursday. I saw his mom after the game with the Wyoming game, and she said you just can see that smile on him. And then yeah, he had a couple moves down the pass rush the other day. Looked really good out there today. Had an interception I saw yesterday. So yeah, he's full go back with us.
As you look at FCS schools, is Chattanooga obviously a top 10 team?
Yeah.
Are they one of those maybe one title type teams? Are they that good? What you saw?
Well, I think a couple things jump out to you. They have really good players. They have really an offensive lineman that could start anywhere. They have a defensive tackle that could start anywhere. It doesn't matter. Both of them will play in the NFL. They have a running back I think is very talented. They got a lot of really good players around them. They're very well coached. Coach has done a tremendous job of getting those guys to play very hard, very fast, and very productive players, really offense, defense, and special teams. They've taken advantage of the portal world too, right? So a lot of different things. They took Kentucky last year, who's a really good football team, to the fourth quarter. I believe it was a 28-23 game or somewhere in that ballpark. So, yeah, they're a very talented football team and one that we got to prepare our tails off of, because I know they're coming over here with the idea of one thing is making history for themselves.
The rules used to favor FCS schools with transfers, but now you get the portal.
Yeah.
Is that hurting them some, or maybe not at all?
I don't
Does it
know.
matter?
It does matter, but I don't know.
I mean, you're seeing better players at a lot.
I think for me, I saw I was watching the Seattle Denver game, right, and Shelby Harris was on after practice, right, or after the game. He was a guy that was at Denver, got traded to Seattle, and he had a few things to say after the game. And he was a kid that I recruited, very heavily recruited kid out of Wisconsin. He was with us a couple years, and then situations came up where he had to transfer to Illinois State, which at the time was FCS, came down here, had a really productive career, and now I believe he's been in the league 10 years, right? And so that used to kind of be the story, guys getting opportunities that maybe after they had situations that weren't allowing them to be at the place they were at. Now that exists for everybody, right? I'm glad that we got our guys here, right? I look out there every day and see guys that I'm like, what an impact they're having in their program. Not necessarily as a starter, but just depth, rotation, ability, attitude, personality. So it is kind of everybody under that same guide rule now. So yeah, it's an effect in college football that's unprecedented.
What do you want you guys to do this weekend? I mean, off the feet. I mean, tell me for you.
Our players?
Yeah, your players.
So it was very important today. We had I started off the meeting at 7:00. I talked about one issue that I really wanted them to think about while they're watching college football tomorrow. I always tell our guys, don't just watch football, learn football, right? And I brought up a couple points to them that I know they'll be able to watch tomorrow through other games and see how it affects them or it affects the team that they're on, right? And put ourselves in that shoe, in that situation. So hopefully our guys tomorrow from 9 to 11, they got voluntary treatments and rehab. I'm sure a lot of guys will be in here for that. And then I'd really like them to sit back and enjoy college football. It's one of the greatest things they can do is, sit and watch and learn.
As you build your program, are you okay this flexible schedule to get standalone games? Like, how important is that for you to play on a Thursday or a Friday or whatever day?
I like routine, right? Like I preach to our guys. It's on the doors when you walk in and walk out. Live your routine. Like I think that the more you treat and teach guys to process them through to Saturday is good, right? This Thursday game, even though it's a Thursday game, we've had a full week of preparation for it, and it's even going to be the same as they've done on these first 3 games. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag. I always say in the schedule, right? Just show me the schedule and I'll play it. I really can't control it, but I do think our guys are locked into the process of getting to game day, and that's why I can say, tomorrow's a Monday and Sunday's a Tuesday. So to Bob's point, like tomorrow is a Monday in game week, but it's a Saturday in real life. I know what happens on Saturdays in college, right? I just ask them they're not going to school tomorrow like they'd normally be doing on a Monday. You have the ability to eat, sleep, drink, walk, talk, do anything you want. Just think about on Sunday, it's going to be one of the hardest practice days of the week, so to have that in mind.
Devin Witherspoon has maybe always kind of been a pull the trigger guy like Ryan once, but what have you maybe seen just from his overall development where he's kind of turning into that shutdown corner, I think?
Well, I think it's very evident that Spoon is very confident, and I think when players play confident, they play fast, they play physical. He's confident because he's seen a lot, but he's learned a lot, right? And his football IQ is at an unprecedented level that I think since I've been around him. A very, very confident young man. He sees things formationally. So like when we were out of practice, he didn't practice on Wednesday. So one of the things as a corner, you always see football like this, right? You always see football inside of you. As a safety, you see things like this. It's in front of you, right? So the advantage of safety is he has a formation. So you have to rely and lean on safeties to tell you things as a corner. So I wanted him to watch the whole practice from a back-end view to see formations and see how he can help himself if he's getting that information you know, in real live game situations. He sat back there and he talked the whole time. I mean, he was talking to the defense, like, and talking and talking. It's just another way to bring personality out of him and leadership. So I couldn't be happier for Spoon, right, but for us as a defense as well.
You really like the way the guys practiced going into Virginia. How do you carry that over into this week?
Yeah, it has. I think it has. Our kids know when we do well and when we don't do well. We went through, last spring, I made a very big point. We get 15 practices by NCAA rules, right? And they know the practice. That if you went up and talked to them right now, what practice did we get back? I think they would tell you, right? Like, I felt we got better 14 and 15. I made a big deal about the one we didn't. Those chances and those opportunities are very, very unique and very precious, so we can't afford not to use them, and hopefully they'll show up this week to say that.
What have you seen from Gabe just in the days? I mean, a pretty big game on Saturday. What have you seen from him just this week?
You know, a lot of stuff we saw in recruiting. You know, he's big, he's physical, he's powerful. With young players like that that have big ears, like Gabe, literally, I made a clip. I remember this very clearly. So my first Thursday travel meeting. So I do a meeting on Thursday before a game on Saturday, and I usually show something or talk about something that's football related, but not specific to our game, like big picture. So I was teaching a room. I used, I think, wide receiver, DB, O-line, and D-line, and I showed, right, okay, this guard, like I was saying earlier, this guard and this guard are on the same team, coached by the same guy, but when you pass rush on this guy, you can hit this move. This guy, it must have been tackles. It was definitely tackles. So Gabe came up to me and he's like, where can I get that film? I'm like, I have an area called My Folders, which is only me, only because I don't want people getting messing up my stuff. So I said, well, it's in my folder. I'll send it to your folder. And he's like, okay. And 10 minutes later, he sent me a text. Is it there yet? Right? Like, the urgency for him to get better is like unprecedented. Coach Kane, I'm sure he'll tell you, Coach Walters, anybody that's dealing with him, like, his immediate need for information and desire to get better is instantly. It's just really impressive kid.
When you head out on the road and your guys head out on the road during this bye week, like, how much of it is a fact-finding mission on your part? I mean, you've talked about it before, hitting that history teacher, hitting that math teacher, hitting that guidance counselor.
Well, that's quite honestly, like, I let 5 or 6 guys go this morning so that they could go into school and talk to the custodian, the assistant principal, and do all that. I said specifically, and I'd like to hear if they don't, right, when they go to a game tonight, like, we're going to watch this kid on this team, right, go shake the hand and talk to the coach on the other team, right, find out what he has available. I think it's a sign of respect that I always did. Hayden Fry taught me to do that when I was young, right, and now I try to teach my coaches, learn from everything on that field. It's a fact-finding mission on the guys specifically we're going to see, but also fact-finding on everybody else.
Is Josh McCray able to practice at all?
He's getting close. He's not practicing yet. He didn't practice with the team, but he is definitely in an upward track.
Is that just like you said how much he can go, but is there a plan to try and get
Oh,
him?
yeah, there's a plan. I'm not going to share with you.
I'm going to ask. Right?
Yeah, exactly. He's progressing well. I don't foresee this week being it, but I think there's definitely a chance to grow.
Y'all good?
Thank you. You guys have a good weekend.